Hey everybody, it's Matt and Alex here from Powder7 World Headquarters. We're coming to you with the video editions of our 2024-2025 Buyer's Guide. This is the carving skis category for lay-in trenches and taking names. So these skis are recreational carvers. They're not FIS certified race skis. They're more tuned to perform with race ski-ish qualities, but be more accessible for the general market of skiers. So what we're gonna do is Alex and I are both gonna give you a personal favorite, a top personal choice in our quivers, a staff favorite based on feedback from our ski test and watching our friends here at the shop ski on different models, and then a customer favorite, a ski that we think the wide range of skiers out there might really enjoy.
Yeah, I feel like we got quite a few new skis. I mean, there's a ton of new skis for 24 and 25, but particularly in this category, it feels like there's a lot of updates. And not necessarily reinventing the wheel with carving skis, but just kind of finding some nice refinements and making them ski better than ever. So,
yeah, for sure. So,
why don't you kick us off with your personal favorite this year?
All right. The choice that I would add to my quiver is the newest ski from Volkl, which is intended to kind of reset some of Volkl's credibility that they've always had in this high-speed carving ski category. You know, they've done a lot of work in freeride and all mountain, and I think they felt a need to go hammer the carving frontside angle once again, and they did it with Peregrine. So this is the newest frontside carving ski from Volkl. It comes in an 80 waist. This is the 82. So the 82 is a little bit more full gas than the 80. And what Volkl did here is they incorporated some of the design elements from their wider skis in the All Mountain collection, like the Mantra and the Kendo, that you might be familiar with, into the Peregrine. So for one thing, we get tailored carbon tips, really, as we've seen and talked about in the new Mantra models. Gives you a really precise feel as you link up carves. If you're taking these into some bumps or you're trying to vary your carve styles and your turn shapes and lengths, that really precise and lively feel in your tips does a lot, goes a long way. You also get a little bit of early rise in the tips, again, to help you link up carves. We also get tailored teat mill frame technology, which debuted in the Mantra. It's the metal where you need it concept that we've talked about. By giving you metal where you need it, Volkl ski engineers can play with wider, heftier metal where you want more power, and then narrower metal where you want less power. The tailored on the front of that marketing moniker does mean that, like, throughout the size run, performance is consistent. So 162 all the way up to 177 here. You're getting a consistent performance in various sizes of skis. All that to say, that's kind of the marketing jargon. On snow, I found the Peregrine 82 to be maybe my favorite ski in this category that I've been on in a long time. I think it links up carves if you're driving it in the shovels effortlessly. I think you can ski it kind of mid stance, kind of more centered, and kind of drop a hip. And the ski has a really nice flex pattern to it. It's not clunky. It doesn't feel like a 2x4. There's a ton of rebound and energy, while also being a ski that you can go very fast on and not really feel like there's a speed limit. I think some skis in this category with a ton of side cut can feel like you're going to buck yourself over the bars if you engage them too hard at a high edge angle. I think the Peregrine does a really nice job of blending a really damp on snow feel that comes alive with not a ton of skier input. Again, not an FIS race ski. It's a recreational carving ski. So I do think, you know, if you want to skid your turns on groomers, this probably isn't the category for you. But if engaging your ski and really driving into carved arcs is what you love to do, especially in low snow periods during the winter, 82 Peregrine is the one I'm putting in my quiver.
I know there's a Peregrine 80. That sounds awfully similar to this Peregrine 82. Can you talk a little bit about the differences between the two?
Yeah, the 82 is just a little bit more souped up. There's more metal. Mm-hmm. So I think having both in the collection goes a long way to making it a little more accessible for people who both already carve and want to carve hard, and people who might be just getting into carving. Mm-hmm. So if you're a little new, if you didn't race, you're a little newer to carving a ski, and you want to explore that side of the sport on groomers, the 80 might be for you. Or if you're lighter weight, ski a little more conservatively, that one's not going to demand as much skier input. And the 82 is going to want you to drive it pretty hard. There are other skis, which we'll allude to, in this recreational carving category that allow you to ease off the gas without being grumpy about it. Peregrine 82 wants to charge pretty hard. And when you give it what it wants, it's super smooth and intuitive. And when you don't, that's when maybe the 80 is the right choice for you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's called a peregrine, after all.
Fastest bird in the world. Baby.
Bird of prey, yeah.
All right, Alex, what are you choosing to put in your quiver?
I mean, if it was no holds bars.
No holds bar.
No, whatever that phrase is. I'm going to pick a Stockli, and my pick would be the Stockli Montero AR. A familiar name over the last few years. Stockli launched the Montero category a couple years ago now as kind of an all-mountain piece category rather than being pure carving. These skis have a flair for adventuring off trail, but we still think they fit solidly in the carving category for their performance on piste. The AR is going to be the go fast model, I would say, kind of the more long turn oriented compared to the AX, AS, and AW. You can see pretty limited tail rocker back there, but definitely a little kick compared to that Peregrine that Matt was showing earlier. And then actually definitely some all mountain rocker in the tip. New for this year, Stockli updated the AR and the AX that you'll hear about later with just some milled out titanol in the tip and tail. So they've just removed literally not even 6 inches of metal in 2 spots in the tip and tail just to give you enough torsional flexibility in the front and the back to make it a little bit more skiable in the bumps and trees, or when you're skiing a little bit more cautiously and just letting off the gas. So they're really just letting you ease up a little bit. But what I found skiing this year is that ceiling is still there. So when you're at speed or at high edge angles, you can still find that really nice Stockli performance that we've come to love. Just really smooth riding, really damp. Couldn't find a speed limit. This is the 175. I'm like 172 centimeters right on the dot and did not find a speed limit with this one at all. And yeah, it's just a great front side ski for me.
What do you think would be a trade-off? Like who might shy away from the AR?
I think just since it's a little bit more go fast, I think if you're interested in taking, like if you love the art of the carve and you're dancing around the mountain and always trying to take quick turns, I think you'll fight the radius a little bit on this. This one tends to want to take some longer turns and just arc at a faster speed. And if you're more into quick, snappy turns, almost slalom-esque, I think the AX or even the AS would be a better fit in that Montero family. This is going to be for our folks who like to, set their PRs every now and then.
Aggro kind of folks.
I would never say aggro. Our speed demons, our peregrines.
For sure, that's fair.
What have you got for? I want to hear about what the staff are into this year.
Totally. You just alluded to this pick, so it's kind of our other go-to Powder7 staff recreational carving ski. This is the Montero AX versus AR. So Alex alluded to the AR being a little bit more tuned for high-speed, long radius carving. The AX takes it in a little bit of a different direction. So here, this is my staff pick based off feedback from our ski test. And we at Powder7, we have a lot of different styles of skiers. We have people who used to ski race, people who have never ski raced, people who just hunt powder and free ride, people who haven't skied till last year. It's a whole mixed bag. And so the AX has been revered by our staff for a number of years now because of how accessible it is as a carving ski. It allows you to give it less input at lower edge angles and still be drivable. And it also becomes more torsionally rigid at higher edge angles with more input, which satisfies harder charging carvers. Alex alluded to the changes for this year. That milled out titanol in the tails and the tips carries over to the AX, giving it a little bit of heft taken out of the tips and tails, for a little bit easier turn engagement. But I'll read you a quote straight from the ski test off of a test card from Jonathan on our staff. Jonathan said, "It is really intuitive overall. It's easy to initiate and release a carve, very damp and smooth and stable, impressive energy. Although I generally call it a carving ski, it is surprisingly versatile, especially for a place that doesn't get much snow. So if you live in a low snow area or you've got a low snow season or just want to ski to make the days brighter between storms and if you're in a dry spell, the Montero AX is really tough to beat as a pretty high ceiling, but also fairly low floor kind of ski where you can get into it, even if you're just getting into carving and feel like you've got a ski that you can grow into and enjoy after not that much time."
Yeah. Is this a ski you'd take into the bumps at all?
I would. I think, how lively it is and the fact that it doesn't feel super heavy and 2x4-ish under your feet. And also the fact that it's not a carving ski with so much side cut where it feels like if you're not carving, it's gonna like buck you. You're gonna hook up a tip and catch an edge and tumble. It feels a lot smoother than some other carvers like that I maybe wouldn't take in the bumps.
That are like locked into a specific
right. Like they want to carve and that's all they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think this ski would be happy in the bumps as long as you're forward in your boots. You're pretty good at skiing bumps. You're at least pretty confident. You're not always skidding out your tails every bump. As long as you're pretty technically strong, I would not shy away at all from taking this in the bumps. You'll get a ton of edge hold. You'll get a really lively, engaging feel, and it's really fun. So big ups for AX Montero.
Yeah.
What about you, Alex? What is your staff pick?
I've got the new Fischer The Curv GT 85. This feels pretty beefy with the power plates on this. This is a new ski from Fischer, kind of redoing their whole curve line. This has got a ton of camber underfoot, super energetic, really kind of traditional shape in the tail, really flat, not a ton of taper, but you do get a splash of rocker up at the tip. Generally, the feedback on this, that this was just super smooth, just really nice responsiveness. I felt like it was really planted, really consistent feeling through the whole of the ski, like through the whole flex pattern. And it was just a really nice all-around frontside ski, especially at 85 underfoot. I am digging these for this year. There's also a GT, Matt will put the name up here specifically, but there's a flax edition that has a more sustainable construction as well. So, and that one, we love flax as a material in skis, just really dampens the ride without adding a lot of weight. I've got a quote from Christian on this one, a resident skinny ski expert. So responsive. You think, turn, it turns. The edge hold is top notch. Speed and power had me feeling like a race coach. And we had a 4.8 Stoke score on this.
That's a high Stoke score.
High Stoke score.
That's out of 5.
Yeah. And Christian is not someone who grew up ski racing or anything like that. He's just kind of really gravitated towards these kinds of skis. So I think that speaks to what kind of skier can hop on this, right? Like you were saying earlier about our staff, coming from a mixed backgrounds of skiing, you can hop on this without a ton of technical background in arcing turns and getting high edge angles and really enjoy the precise edge hold that this offers.
Still a pretty high ceiling for people who do ski, who carve pretty aggressively.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't really find a speed limit on it, but not that I'm a professional skier or anything like that. But just with how, I was really impressed with how damp it was. So that kind of keeps that ceiling high of like if you're finding higher speeds and things like that. I think it would work well. Yeah.
Nice. Well, last on my board would be the ski that I think customers might really enjoy. And so this is a familiar favorite as
I
well.
was gonna say I've seen that ski before.
We've talked about this ski on this YouTube channel a lot. There have been slight updates to it. The character has remained the same throughout, I would say. This is the Head E-Titan. It's the widest ski in the Head Supershape collection. Supershapes are what we've been talking about as the example of recreational race skis since I started working at Powder7. It's been a long time. And so the newest E-Titans get slight updates to the side cut, and really Head is just trying to make them even more lively and snappy than they've ever been without compromising any of the smooth suspension and the dampness on really firm snow. So one of the defining characteristics of the E-Titan series, energy management circuit, which might be way too micro for a lot of people out there consuming ski content. The whole concept is that these skis transform vibrations and energy from the snow around you, chatter, into energy that's harnessed into the ski that comes out when you engage it, bend the ski, hit an aggressive edge angle, and carve. And so the E-Titan feels really light on your feet. I think if you haven't been carving skis for a long time, you're not an aggressive carver, it feels like a little bit more to manage than the Laser AX or the Montero AX. It's a new day. So I think the E-Titan requires a little more input, but maybe not as much input as the Peregrine 82. So a nice kind of middle ski, which is why I think it's maybe my top choice for the widest range of customers out there. We took the E-Titan and the E-Rally to Loveland Ski Area and did a video review of them, which will pop up in the right-hand corner there. You can check that out. And we both had a really good time, whether it's slushy groomers in the spring, exploring some slush bumps, or just railing really firm groomers in the morning between snowstorms. E-Titan has always gotten it done, and I think the newest model doesn't deviate far from where this range has been since I've started skiing it. So really another impressive E-Titan.
Yeah. All I think about when I think Supershape is smooth, and I think the energy management circuit has a lot to do with that, right?
Yeah.
So
it pulls you in and out of carves, right? Kind of in a similar way the AX does. I think the AX pulls you in and out of carves at all speeds. I think the E-Titan, as long as you give it a little bit more gas, it's just as intuitive and pulls you in and out, rebounds with a ton of energy. So it's a blast.
Yeah. Is this one you would take into the bumps?
Not as readily as the AX. I think, and maybe not the Peregrine either, I think the E-Titan tends to want to carve more than some other of these skis, even the AR maybe, that are tuned at all mountain skiing. If you're from Europe, all mountain skiing is 84 wasted skis. But I think side cut profile, the shape of the ski, I think Head has really tuned these as a little bit more friendly version of like their Rebels World Cup series. Again, recreational race skis, meaning they want to carve on firm, smooth snow is what they want to do most. So I'd go through the bumps if I was feeling a little reckless and the bumps looked really nice, but it wouldn't be my top choice.
Not icy, big, stack size bumps.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
How about you for your customer pick?
I have a little bit of an opposite one compared to you, I'd say. I've got the new Black Crows Octo. Super cool name, new ski from Black Crows, which is always exciting. This is a really interesting new ski. The sidewall says it's crazy, which is true. Look how much camber is in the ski. It's crazy. This is, if you look at the side cut, you may have noticed it looks a little familiar. This kind of wavy tip, this kind of exaggerated tip side cut. And a little bit of a swallowtail back there, but not really. It is a cousin of the Mirror's Core. Black Crows sort of wanted to make the Mirror's Core just a little bit toned down, a little bit more tuned for the everyday skier and not just the core skiers who are out there looking for UFO-shaped skis. This is more carving oriented than the Mirror's Core, I would say, just with a more traditional shape. That Mirror's Core has a big splayed, almost like twin tip tail. This is more traditional, doesn't have that even binding mount plate in there. It's just a wood core with carbon in there and fiberglass. So that gives you a slightly softer flex. Still definitely supportive underfoot, but that tail is bendy and a little bit of flex in the tip. Definitely more than a lot of the skis up here. So that's going to just give you a little bit more ability to get into the shovels of the ski if you're newer to carving or more of a recreational carver. just going to be easier to get into those shovels and initiate a carve. So I think this is an awesome ski for folks who aren't skiing a ton and love to carve and don't need a ski that beats them up that much. But you really like something nimble, agile, really snappy, that's just really responsive edge to edge. And I think a lot of people will get along with the ski really well. I was super impressed with how nimble it was, took it into the bumps, no problem, just zipping down little tight bump lines, and it was a blast.
Did you find a speed limit on it? What's about a top end?
Top end, this is definitely going to have a lower ceiling than a lot of the skis on here. I don't know if I'd say I found a speed limit per se, but I think really aggressive carvers would probably find a bit of a speed limit. And maybe even like an edge angle speed limit, right? Like you're not able to really like tilt the ski over on edge and find full support throughout the whole ski, just since it's slightly softer flexing and less beefed up than a lot of these other skis are underfoot.
Totally.
But super fun ski, and I think it'll be a nice alternative to skis like the Cactus. This is 84 underfoot. Cactus is another ski we recommend a lot to folks. That's 90 underfoot, almost twin tipped, way more playful. So this will be a good option for people who are skiing on firm snow a lot and looking for a narrow option from a super fun brand like Black Crows.
Right on. Well, that's the carving roundup. Keep in mind, this is a sampler platter. So if you go to our full buyer's guide on the Liftline blog, the link is in the description. Head down there, you'll see our full rundown of carving skis, frontside skis, all mountain, big mountain freeride, powder, and backcountry skis. That's where you'll see the whole deal. But yeah, this has been a little taster. And make sure while you're down in the description to hit that subscribe button so you're in the loop about other videos like this when we talk about more steerable sleds and other toys that we like to enjoy. You can find all these skis at powder7.com and at our headquarters here in Golden, Colorado.
We'll see you around. Happy turns.